You're watching Money Matters. I'm Ryan Owens in New York. An increasing number of web users are using the internet to promote the products they love and diss the products they don't. They're called citizen marketers, and with 48 million Americans logging on and creating content, as you might imagine, their influence is huge. For more on this phenomenon, we're joined live from Chicago by Ben McConnell. He's the author of Citizen Marketers, When People Are the Messages. I don't know, Ben. How are you today?
I'm great, Ryan. How are you?
So here's my question. I've been to a restaurant, I didn't like the food, so I log on and I reviewed the place, did the same with a hotel. Does that make me a citizen marketer, or do I still have work to do?
Actually, it does make you a citizen marketer because you're expressing your opinion online about a product or a brand, a company, or even sometimes another person.
So how powerful is the influence of me and all these other folks?
Well, it's just beginning in its early stages. We're really in the infancy of probably a revolution or a renaissance of democratization of self-expression, with basically a 1/6 of the world's population online. That's over 1 billion people. A lot of these people are now expressing their opinions. They're taking the ideas of democracy, of self-expression, and being able to assemble, and they're using those ideals to talk about products or brands or companies that they love or they hate, and they're influencing the inner rings of opinion, not only in America but around the world.
Now, when you have bad service or you feel like you get ripped off, that's angry. That sort of motivates you to want to get online and say something bad. I'm sort of interested more in the opposite. How are people actually helping companies, I guess helping get the word out about new products and things like that?
Well, there are a number of examples where that's happening. People are creating their own websites that are fanatical websites, and they're doing it about all sorts of different things. They're doing it about soda, for instance. There's a young man named Eric Karkovac who lives in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. He has a website devoted to a soda called Vault, of all things, and he's been doing that for several years, and that's a Coca-Cola product. And when you do a search on Google for Vault, actually his site is the #1 search result on Google, and Coca-Cola's own website doesn't show up in the first 25 pages of results.
Speaking of Coke, talk to me about Diet Coke and this Mentos thing. I didn't hear about this, but I guess it's all the rage on YouTube, right?
Oh, the kids love it. Diet Coke Mentos experiment where people were dropping rolls of Mentos candy into big bottles of Diet Coke was literally exploding all over the internet, and basically it became kind of a copyright issue or a copy issue for people to do this on their own, and they were doing this all across the world and creating their own videos about it and taking it in new and kind of fun ways, where these bottles of Diet Coke became basically rockets that would shoot across the world and into, you know, probably somewhat dangerously into people's yards or windows.
Wow, I had not seen that before. I can't imagine Coke was too excited about this.
Coke's response about this was a little bit curious, and this is a good lesson for a lot of companies. People will take your products or your brands and use them in ways that are unexpected or not exactly the way that you envision them. And Coke's response was, well, we don't really think this is a good idea because we think our product is meant to be drunk, not to be experimented with. And it really kind of showed a not exactly pleasant side of Coke.
Yeah, someone who drinks a lot of Diet Coke, I'm at least a little worried all of a sudden. All right, let's talk about citizen marketers and really their power sometimes to change things.
Yeah, you know, there's a really interesting story that happened about a year ago, and it happened with a blogger named Jeff Jarvis, who's based out of New York City. And he had a bad experience with a Dell laptop computer, and basically it was a lemon. And he blogged about it. He blogged about it over the course of a couple of months. And what was interesting about this was that it wasn't just one person kind of yelling into the wilderness and not hearing anything back. There were hundreds, if not thousands, of people who blogged about similar experiences with Dell Computer, and they were having problems as well. And what that became was a catalyst for thousands of people around the world who were having basically unearthing problems that Dell was having with its customer service support operation, which eventually led to Dell investing about $100 million to bolster its customer service operation and appoint a new person in charge of all of it at Dell.
So it can work. Speaking of that, what does the future look like, do you think, for citizen marketers? Things online move so quickly, it seems, these days.
Well, social media is really the underpinning of a two-way or multiple-way relationship with companies or brands or even other people. And people are building their own powers of influence. And we're really in the beginning stages of this. So what we're seeing now are people becoming new centers of influence and influencing word of mouth, influencing the direction of brands or influencing the direction of corporations even, as people gather together, take the power back that was once given to them, that corporations or organizations, even governments had taken, and now redistributing it. And it's a pretty powerful force online.
All right, Ben McConnell, thanks very much for being with us. If nothing else, I still am not over the Diet Coke Mentos thing, but we appreciate your time very much.
Thank you, Ryan.
For more information, you can check out his book, Citizen Marketers, or his blog, www.citizenmarketers.com. That is Money Matters for now. Check in with us throughout the day. And for all of your business news, remember, you can always log on to abcnews.com. I'm Ryan Owens in New York. Thanks for watching.